Excellent. So here we are again. Another stream. Episode 3. Kia ora, and welcome back once more. Where we left off last week, Diocris was heading northeast to... Why is that? Work? Please work. Ah, wrong microphone. Let me try that again. Kia ora, and welcome back once more. Where we left off last week, Diocris was heading northeast. Heading northeast. Okay, fine. Constant. Kia ora, and welcome back once more. Where we left off last week, Diocris was heading northeast to the Poison Pass. En route, he is attacked by an ice serpent hidden in the snow beneath his feet. Swiftly dealing with the chilly creature, he continues on the northeast path, encountering 3 gnolls. Unseen by them, Diocris decides to follow rather than engage this time, and soon discovers that he is not the only one on the path. 3 riders, coming out of nowhere, skillfully dispatch the gnolls. Diocris comes out of hiding, and the raiders, seeing he is no threat, take him back to their village to meet their leader, Grokon Bearclaw, who is a descendant of Tolric Bearclaw. Grokon tells our adventurer about the Ice Mage, or Ilana, who is behind the theft of Tolric's staff, and presents him with an amulet that will let Diocris take control of the staff if he chants the phrase Tolric Akur Krogon. Apologies. Allergies today. Armed with this knowledge and some food to keep him warm, Diocris continues to travel north for a few more hours before finally coming to an abandoned castle just further north. He was warned about this castle by the barbarian leader. However, being perhaps a little too confident, Diocris decides to check out the castle in the hopes of finding some more treasure, in typical adventurer fashion. Upon entering the keep, avoiding a simple trap at the door, Diocris is set upon by 3 undead gnolls. Dispatching these 3 without too much effort, our overconfident adventurer continues into the castle proper and begins exploring. On the 2nd floor is a small dining room with 3 suits of armor sitting at the table, lit by 4 braziers. As Diocris attempts to sneak towards a door on the northern wall, he is spotted by the guards and is forced to defend himself. And that is where we shall pick up the story this week. Oh dear. Display. There we go. And nope. That one. Ah. Apologies. Hope this isn't something serious. Though it has been rather cold recently, so. Now, the undead warriors lie at your feet, a pile of armor and wrecked bodies. And we were heading towards the door in the northern part of this room, which is 199. Here we are. Quickly moving through the north door, you quietly shut the door behind you and survey the chamber you have entered. You are within a throne room. To your left and right, large tapestries depict battle scenes on mountainsides. Directly ahead is a throne on a dais, and a figure is seated there, draped in tattered robes. There is an ancient, musty smell in the air, and a freezing cold that chills you to the bone. Dim light from a large circular window behind the throne illuminates the silent chamber. "Who enters?" a voice booms, seeming to come from all around you. How will you answer? I believe a little humility may be in order here. We have been warned of the power that is, what's the word I am looking for? Sequestered away in this place. So I believe a lone adventurer is all I am. Who might you be? At these words, you see the figure seated on the throne throw its head back and laugh uproariously. Ha 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 ha! A lone adventurer indeed, as I once was. Well, my friend, you have blundered into the domain of Lord Agnom, Wintersong, and so you will pay for it with your life, unless you can answer me this one question. Dust of the water, light of weight am I, dripping in the sun, but in the cold am dry. I rivers make, though first upon the ground I lie. Answer swiftly, and perhaps you shall not die. Do you know the answer? If so, count the number of letters in the word you have in mind and multiply it by 8. Then turn to that entry number. If you do not know the answer, go to this entry. Interesting. An interesting riddle. You know what? Let's make an intelligence check. We will go over to the battle cam where, having rearranged things a bit, you can see over here is my dice tray, so that you can now see the action, as that's about all the action there is when you're a voice. Unfortunately, you can't see much on that. It is an 8. Intelligence is +1, so a 9 on intelligence. It is quite a complicated riddle. However, I think, given the nature of this environment and his sister being the Mage of Ice, that the answer would be ice, given ice is... Oh, actually, it could be snow. Snow is much more is dusty in its appearance, very light, melts in the sun, but is dry in the cold. But then ice makes rivers and sits upon the ground. Snow or ice? That is what a 9 on the dice has led me to. So, oops, wrong pen. Let's see here. Snow, ice. Okay. Snow or ice? That's 4 or 3 times 8. 4 eights are 32. 3 eights are 24. Okay. Even shall be no. Odd shall be ice. Oh dear. Let's try that again. Even, snow. Excellent. So we shall go to 32, which I will have to unfortunately find myself, but that's okay. Too far, too far. Up slightly. Interesting. The storytellers that wrote this for me clearly have done their research. Snow, you answer. Well done, the figure says. And now you may leave without molestation. Go well, and do not wander into my stronghold again, for I hold dominion over these lands, south of the mountains, while my sister holds dominion over the lands to the north. Oh. I think we shall leave at that. We shall return. Yes, we shall leave. With the undead Lord's blessing, you make your way from this throne room and waste no time in making for the front door of the castle. And we are back at the front entrance of the castle. Don't have that. Okay. That is an interesting choice. Either way, we will go to that one. What was it to? Oh dear. I'm just trying to make sure that I keep track of where I've been for the recap. 15. Excellent. So we will go there. You exit the abandoned keep and make your way out of the compound through the hole in the front gate. Leaving the keep behind, you follow the base of the mountain foothills, leading towards Poison Pass. Turning east and keeping the mountains on your left, you make your way towards the thin fissure that you saw before from the plain, the narrow ravine known as Poison Pass. After about an hour's walk, you reach the entrance to the path, a trail which has somehow remained free of snow, ascends between two steep rock walls. Did the gnolls go through this pass, carrying the staff? You ponder this as you begin to make camp for the night, which is descending fast, bringing with it a frigid cold. You set your camp up here at the foot of the mountains which tower above, their high, rocky reaches coated in snow and ice. You sleep well, insulated against the alpine cold by your cozy tent. And receive a long rest. Excellent. Let me just do that. I had taken a little bit of damage and used a few of my focus points. Oops. Well. There we are. Okay, so we have taken a long rest. After eating a meager breakfast, you quickly break camp, packing your supplies away, and then survey the way forward into Poison Path. You can see why it is such a feared location. A long, narrow passage that snakes its way through the mountains at the bottom of the gully. It is flanked by a high rock wall on either side. This would be the ideal place for snipers to pick off unsuspecting targets, or for a band of raiders to catch their prey in a bottleneck. Beyond Poison Pass, on the other side of these mountains, is the waste known as the Tortured Land, which is presumably where the gnolls who stole Frostbringer have fled to. Their purpose in taking the staff this far, however, remains unclear to you. Cautiously, you enter the pass, your eyes scanning all around for any signs of danger. Not dallying, you proceed with haste through the twisting, narrow trail that cuts through the mountains. For possible routes. Oh dear. Okay. Can I duplicate? Excellent. Let's bring this down here so I can have the map as well. Where is the Poison Pass map? Oh, that's right. It is a separate document. I was unprepared for maps. Apologies. Apologies, my dear viewer. Tortured Land. Tortured Land maps. Here we go. Ah, the Poison Pass. Excellent. Okay. Okay. So, as we enter the pass, not only does it snake, but it has a couple of forks in the road. So we start at 1, 2, 6. Too far. Too far. Apologies for the silence. This is taking a while. There must be an easier way of doing this. I shall figure that out at some point. You enter the narrow path, not dallying at all. The quicker you get to the other side, the quicker you can continue your quest to find Frostbringer. You scan the cliff tops warily, looking for enemies, but you see nothing ahead. The tracks split in two. You cautiously approach the junction. A DC 15 perception check. What a different dice this time. Let's here and we'll put you over there. Excellent. Cool. That, I should try and focus that a bit more. That is only a 2 on the dice, and even with my high wisdom, that is only a total of 6. So, that is unsuccessful. You approach the junction, considering which direction you should take, left or right. Suddenly you hear a whipping noise and glance down to see a rope loop quickly closing in on your legs. A dexterity saving throw is called for here. All of my dice seem to be betraying me today. I do, however, have proficiency in dexterity saving throws, which is good. So, I don't suppose you can see that. Not really. If I make that bigger, there we go. We shall do that. Maybe I'll make a separate scene just for the dice. For someone so dexterous and trained in avoiding traps and various other situations, an 8 will be unsuccessful. So we will go to the unsuccessful thing there. You have fallen victim to a craftily set rope trap and are now dangling in the middle of the poison path, wondering what will become of you. The rope was hidden against the cliff face and led back behind a boulder. You consider your options. From what you have heard of Poison Pass, you know that if you don't get free, it is doubtless the end of the road for you here. You may attempt one of the following. If you are strong, you may attempt to pull yourself up and cut through the rope with a blade. 18 athletics, which I do believe I have proficiency in, however, not all that strong. If one of your checks, 3 times if one is successful. If you fail, you fall to the ground and take 1d6 fall, but you will be freed. If you have a ranged weapon, you make attack AC 15. 3 attempts. If successful, fall to the ground. Excellent. A druid can use wild shape. That's nice. A monk of the 4 elements could form a interesting crude blade from stone. Nice option. A caster who can do burning stuff could do one of those. Mage hand could also work. Misty Step is an option. Wow, they really thought of everything. Interesting. Shatter, Unseen Servant, a feat or a spell. Okay, well. DC 15 is more likely. I am more likely to hit that. But I only have 2 daggers. Well, no, I suppose I could catch the dagger again. That wouldn't be unreasonable. Okay. AC 15, excellent. I don't believe Monk has the slow fall feature yet, but that's fine. Oh, what are you still doing there? Oh, wrong layer. There we are. So, we shall attempt to cut the rope by throwing my daggers. Okay. This is a good idea. I shall have that as a 3rd. Okay. Alright. Take you out of there. 3 attempts to do this. Aha. So we have a 13, a 14, and a 9. So, with a +6, at least one of those, the first or the second one will have hit. Excellent. So 1d6 fall damage. Oof. 5. Wonderful. So we will take 5 fall damage. A moment. Let me just double check. Because the monk does receive the ability to slow fall. However, I believe that is a much higher feature. Let me just consult the archives. Here we are. Deflect attacks, unarmored movement, heightened focus. Or not. Perhaps they don't have that anymore. Ah, it appears they do not have that anymore. Uncanny metabolism, deflect attacks. Ah, there it is, slow fall. Oh, I do have slow fall. Excellent. Reaction. Reduce any damage by an amount equal to 5 times. So, in that case, I fall, and using that dexterous mobility that did not serve me well previously, managed to take no damage whatsoever. So, where were we? We were going through all of these options. Okay, 330. There we are. You are freed from the trap and breathe a sigh of relief, but you are mindful of the danger you are in here and do not dally any longer. There are 2 routes ahead, to the left or to the right. There appears to be no difference, so let us roll a dice. Even is left, odd is right. Odd it is, to the right. Just need to find it. Fortunately, it isn't too far away. Just a little further. There we are. Moving quickly along this ravine, you follow its twisting course through the dry rock of Poison Pass. Soon, however, you come to a stop, seeing something ahead. A rock slide is blocking your path, spanning the width of the ravine. There appears to be no way past this obstacle. To attempt climbing over the rock slide, we could do it slowly, or we could go back, or a spellcaster has options. So, well, being a very dexterous monk, we shall attempt to move over it. 2, 7. You make your way towards the rocks and reach out to place a hand on them to begin your ascent, but your hand goes straight through. It takes a moment for you to realize this is an illusion. Now emboldened, you walk through it, penetrating to the other side, where the ravine continues. So, it now comes to a single point again. $189 upwards. Nearly there. Yeah. You reach a point where the path that branched off earlier rejoins the main path. Ahead, you see another fork, and you edge forward. When you are about halfway to this new fork, a burly orc warrior drops down in front of you, having descended quickly via a rope. You turn to see if you can retreat back the way you came, and to your horror, see another orc closing the gap, lumbering towards you. But this one looks diseased, its skin corrupted with boils, its bloated body trailing noxious fumes. You prepare for battle. Perhaps there is a chance you can get out of this. Fleeing past the orc who stands to your east. Whatever the case, you have to act quickly. So, combat once more. Let's reduce that back down. So, we have, in fact, I have the ability to draw. At least I did. Ah, there we are. So, how wide is this? I'm going to say that this is 10 feet wide. Let us make this slightly more interesting for you, viewer. We'll make it 15 feet wide there. And then it goes along, up that way, along, down that way, and splits somewhere over here where you can't actually see it. And continues up this way, over there, and splits like that. So, we have orcs. I'm sure I have something adequate. You know what? Those two will do. Yes. So we are in the center here. One orc there, one orc there. It does seem 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75. No, that seems fair. We'll put them like that. Perfect. A little bit further forward so you can actually see. Okay. Now, time for some initiative. So, orc ambush. Let us read this. So we have orc nurtured one. Place tokens, 2 orcs. Roll initiative. It's on the next page. Okay. You know what? I shall bring this down over here. There we are. So I can see it more clearly. Okay. Let's go. Yep, lovely. So, orcs, initiative. Okay. Green for diseased, red for... Oh, I already removed that. Of course. And the dark green one for me. Oh dear. Lovely, that was a natural 20. However, I will not count that. There we go. Okay. So we have the green is the diseased one. That is a 19. The other one is a 17, and I have an 11. Well, that worked out well. For them, at least. So you have a +1. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Their dexterity modifiers for this. So we have orc and nurtured one. Lovely. And oh, it has less. Okay, 30 hit points and a 9 AC. And the other one has 13 but only 15 hit points. Yeah. 15. Interesting. Okay. So, with that, we shall begin. Speed of 30 feet, 10, 15, 20. Excellent. So the nurtured orc back here will run 20 feet towards Diacris. So it can actually do that as a bonus action if it so wishes. If it's reduced to 0 hit points, poison damage, and it has advantage on saving throws against poison and disease. Excellent. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it will run forward and it will make one attack, which will include 1d4 slashing damage and 1d4 necrotic. My four-sided dice are around here somewhere. Is that then? No. 6, 10, 10. Here we are. So we will have the skull dice for that and a green one if I can find them. Green dice, come on, green dice. Green dice for the slashing. Here we are. That is a 15 to hit, which I believe will not hit. No. Excellent. So it comes racing forwards, using all its movement possible to strike at Diacris. However, misses as he dexterily dodges out of the way. It is now the ordinary orc's turn, the one that is not dying. It will also run forwards, and it has bonus action, the same thing. On its turn, west will use its, yep, or the east. Oh, this one won't. It will actually, it'll move in to javelin there. It'll move in. It is smart. It is smart. Green one, the red one. So javelin, a ranged attack, +5 to hit. 1d6. Okay. And that is a natural 1. So he throws his javelin, and Diacris just parries it out of the way quite comfortably. They are not doing well. The dice are favoring Diacris at the moment, at least. Yeah. So, with that, it is now my turn. I will make my 3 attacks. Yes. The one behind me is obviously the greatest threat, so I shall turn around. In fact, I will use this opportunity to move around the other side of it to try and put it between myself and its ally. Not that I suspect that will make too much of a difference. So, 3 attacks. And blue one. So, first attack. with the dagger, second attack with the dagger, and unarmed strike. Unarmed strike. I have so many dice. It is not quite as bad as some I have heard of or witnessed, but still quite a number of dice. It should be one that relates to each of these dice. Oh dear, come on. I know you're in here somewhere. Far too many six-sided dice. Ah, should be in here. Oh well, fine. I will use that one. It is close enough. Okay. 3 attacks to start with. Okay. One of those is a natural 20. Excellent. So all 3 of those will hit. I will take those dice out. They don't get knocked. Those. And then a natural 20 on the unarmed strike. So it gets another dice. We will use this one. And that is, ooh, another 5. Excellent. Time for the greatest part of playing this role-playing game, is maths. So that is 9 for the first one, 3 for the second one, and then 7 and 6, 13. Wow. That is 22, 25. 25 damage in 1 round. He is looking, I would say, bad, but he already looks very, very nasty. So some of the blisters and boils all over its body burst, splattering off to the sides. Its jaw now loose. It is looking really, really bad. One arm is hanging slightly, though still somewhat usable. With that, it is now the nurtured orc's turn. So it will make... I assume it can't do that. Bonus action move. When it is reduced, it explodes. Very little intelligence, but enough that it would know things. What would be better? I think... it takes a full action to do that, though. So I think best course of action. It can tell that it is going to die either way, so it will attempt to at least attack again before it dies. And that is an 18, which will just hit. So that is 3 slashing, and it is necrotic damage, isn't it? A moment, I must consult the archives once more. Being a monk that is well versed in the healing arts, I just want to check if Diacris, has resistance to necrotic damage, or perhaps he gets that later. Nope. No, it doesn't look like it. Although I can heal with my Hand of Healing. No, it doesn't look like I have that yet. Yes. Excellent. Okay. Wonderful. Apologies. We have to have these things correct. It's no good just going at it willy-nilly like I was previously. So, that is 5 damage. Oh, I did forget Savage Attack. That's okay. Everything's been doing very well, so 5 damage. And that is its turn. It is now the normal orc's turn, and he will make an attack with his javelin from range. And I believe he has a +5 to hit as well. And that will hit with a 19. So 1d6 +3. You know what? I will use that. Yes, I will use that. I will use a focus point to, well, first I need to reduce the damage. So, what are we? To 5 damage. Let's see how much we reduce it by. 8 plus. Have I written it on here? Only that. Okay. 8 plus, I believe, monk level. Either way, that is enough to reduce it. And I will get the orc to make a dexterity saving throw. And that is a natural 1 on his dexterity saving throw. So he takes... I did write it down there. 2d6. Yes, 1d6. Oh, plus 1d10 plus 6. Interesting. I don't think that's... Oh, is it those two? Interesting. Okay. Anyway, the damage was reduced enough. 2d6 plus 3 damage. Excellent. Let's use those two. And, ooh, dear. So that is 5 and 6. So that is 11 and 3, 14. So he takes 14 damage. He is on death's door. Wow, that was impressive. So as he manages to skirt the... Actually, is it within range? Maybe I do that on... Apologies, the archives are so full of information that one must abide by. Where are we? Deflect attacks. Within 60 feet. Any creature within 60 feet. You know what? That works. Dexterity saving throw will take 2 rolls. 1d10 plus dex mod and monk level. Lovely. Okay. So yes, it's within 60 feet. So he would have moved forward 1 to get within range. The javelin comes flying in. Diacris deftly catches it in one hand, twirls it round, and throws it back, dealing significant damage. They are both very, very close to death. That is his turn. It is now my turn. So, now Diacris's turn. I suppose that is mine. All turns are mine in this game. So, we will make first attack with the dagger. And that is going to miss. His AC is 9, yes, and I would hit on an 8. So the first one misses. The neck is a 7 and 6, 13. That will hit. And the 5 damage from the dagger will be enough to kill it, as it just slices through a tendon holding everything together. The orc, in fact, falls to the ground. However, as it falls, the pustules all over its body begin to swell and grow. And as it dies, it explodes into a cloud of poisonous gas within 10 feet. Hence the reason why its ally decided to stay back. So, that is a Constitution saving throw from me. Which one? This one has been rolling well. Constitution saving throw. That is a +4. So that is only an 11. That is a failure. Okay, so that means 4d6 poison damage. And take have the poisoned condition. Half as much, and that isn't. Yep, excellent. Poisoned by this effect can repeat the save at the end of each of their turns, ending it on a success. Can't regain hit points. Interesting. Interesting thing there. Okay, so, oh dear. Lovely. So that's 10, 16 poison damage. Wow. That is decent. 16 poison damage, and I have the poison condition. I do have that somewhere. Let me consult the Artificer's creations. I believe somewhere in here is Charmed, no. Concentrating, I'm certainly not doing that. Frightened. Concentrating, blinded, deafened. Poisoned, here we are. So we can put this, remove him from the battlefield, put this over Diocris, and that shows that he has the poison condition to remind me. So, with that, he still has his bonus action. So, I believe he will spend a focus point to heal himself of said poisoned condition. Because what is the point in being a monk if you can't do these things? Monk. Oh wait, no, that is 6th level. Never mind. You can't heal, so excellent. You will not do that. Apologies. So much information. So little brain space when you are running a museum such as this. Now then, with that, it would be the nurtured one's turn. However, he is in tiny little chunks all over the place. So we go to the orc, and he will as he is looking rough, I don't think there is much need to run. So he will, yes, he will throw one more javelin, trying to hit me. On one hand, how is his intelligence? Oh, the same. Better dex, decent wisdom. On one hand, running would be the sensible option for him. On the other, if he is going to die, he may as well take his foe out with him. Fine. He will run up, using a bonus action, get to here, and attempt an attack with his great axe, which is a d12. 12-sided dice. There we are. Oops, that is the wrong color. Oh well, it'll do. Okay. Woo! Spinning. Excellent. The +5, that is 10 to hit. That will not hit. And that is his turn. It now comes to Diacris once more. He will shift around the other side. And I believe the poisoned condition, for once, disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. Excellent. That one. Okay, so first two attacks. That one and that one. Lovely. So many dice. Okay, let's see here. So the nick will definitely miss. With a +6, 13, that will also miss. His AC is 15. Okay. And bonus action attack. Let's go with another blue one. There's a second blue one in here somewhere. There we are. Bonus action attack. Oh well. A 15 will definitely hit, and whatever damage I do, that will be enough to kill the orc. So, with the end of that combat, I think normally I would go for an hour and a half. However, with the end of that combat, I feel like that is a good place to end it. And given that next week, on Sunday is Mother's Day, it would be prudent if I spent time with my mother and my wife. So we will pre-record next week. There will still be a video. However, that needs to happen now. So I shall end it there. That has been a lot of fun. I hope you have enjoyed it as well. The setup of viewing for you, I hope, is a little more interesting than last couple of episodes, and hopefully we shall improve it further. Thank you very much for joining me, and We will see you next week.